I moved into the apartment at the end of October. I remember the exact date because it was Halloween and the guy handing over the keys laughed and said, "Hope you're not afraid of ghosts." I smiled, played along, and closed the door behind me. The place was small. Living room, kitchen, bedroom, and one extra room at the end of the hallway. That room didn't have a name in the listing. It was just additional space. The previous tenant had left it empty. No shelves, no outlets, no windows, just a door, and a weird silence when you stood in front of it, like sound didn't want to enter. I didn't think much of it then. For the first 2 weeks, everything was fine. Quiet neighborhood, good heating, fast internet. But around mid-November, I started hearing the static. It came from the extra room, low at first, like an old radio picking up a weak signal. Sometimes it faded when I moved closer, like it didn't want to be caught. Sometimes it grew louder the longer I stood near the door. And once, I swear, I heard voices underneath the static. Not words, just syllables, muffled, like someone was trying to speak through a wall with a mouth full of water. I thought it was interference. Maybe the neighbors had a baby monitor or something. I even knocked once. No one answered. By the end of November, I was sleeping with white noise on to drown it out. But every night, it was there, the static, always louder after 2 a.m., always coming from the same room. The room I didn't use, the room with no windows. One night, I put my ear to the door. What I heard was breathing right on the other side. Slow. Inhale, exhale, inhale. And when I knocked, it stopped. I opened the door. Of course, it was empty, just bare walls. Dust. No source of sound. No vents. No wires. But the static. It didn't stop after that. It got smarter. Now it changed when I walked by. It stuttered, paused, restarted, like it was reacting, like it was listening to. I tried telling a friend. He laughed, told me it was probably pipes or some weird echo. So I recorded it, held my phone up to the door, pressed record, stood there for 5 minutes. When I played it back, there was no static, but there was something else. A whisper, clear, right at the end of the recording. It said, "Don't open the door again." I moved the next day, or I tried, but when the movers came, we couldn't open the door to the hallway. The locks worked, the handle turned, but the door wouldn't budge, like something was pushing back. They looked at me. One guy laughed nervously. The other one said, "This ever happened before?" I didn't answer, because right then, I heard it again, from the room at the end of the hall, the static, louder than ever. And this time, it was saying my name. I didn't sleep that night, not because I didn't want to, but because I couldn't. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard the static. It wasn't just in the room anymore. It was in my ears, behind my eyes, like it had followed me inside. I lay in bed, fully dressed, staring at the ceiling, counting the cracks I hadn't noticed before. My phone had 2% left, no signal, no Wi-Fi. At some point, I stopped trying. Around 4:17 a.m., I heard something different, not static, not the usual hum, but a click, a deliberate, slow, heavy click, like someone was pressing their fingers against an old recorder. Then came the voice. "You're still listening, aren't you?" It came from nowhere and everywhere. The air felt denser, like I was underwater. I sat up slowly. The room was exactly as it had been, but it felt wrong, tilted like reality was bending. "You shouldn't be here." The voice again, closer, male. but not normal. There was something hollow about it, like it was coming through layers of tape degradation. I stood up. The window was still shut. The hall was still empty. But the door to the static room, it was open, not wide, just slightly, enough for the darkness to breathe out into the hallway. A breeze hit my face, but not cold. It smelled like earth, like old, damp soil. My instincts told me to run, but some part of me, took a step forward instead. My foot landed on the creaky floorboard, the one I had memorized from earlier. It didn't creak this time. I pushed the door open. Inside was silence. No static. No, just pure, empty silence. The bed was gone. So was the dresser. Even the radio gone. The walls were bare, raw, like someone had stripped them with a knife. In the center of the room was a chair, old, wooden, facing away from me, and in it, someone was sitting. I wanted to leave, I wanted to run, but I couldn't. I whispered, "Who are you?" The person in the chair didn't move. I took one step closer, then another, and then I heard the static again, from inside the room. It wasn't loud. It was tight, like it was inside my chest. The person stood up. I swear, I could hear their joints crack like with splinters. And when they turned around, there was no face, only a tape. A reel-to-reel tape recorder where a head should have been. Spinning, humming, clicking softly. Then a voice played again. This is what happens when you listen. The air went black. Not dark, black, like someone had poured ink into my eyes. I couldn't see, I couldn't move, but I could hear everything. Voices layered over voices, static layered over breathing, crying, laughter, and one phrase over and over and over. We're all still listening. I woke up back in my bed, but not in the same room, not even in the same apartment. I was home, my real home. My phone was charging, the sun was rising, but my ears were still ringing, like the static never left. I rushed to check my email. No messages, no receipts, no confirmation that I had ever rented that place. I checked the address on maps. Nothing. Blank road. No buildings. No rentas. Just a patch of dead forest labeled unavailable. And under it, a comment section. Just one comment. From 6 years ago. It said, "If you hear the static, it's already too late.